Everyone wants money, and if someone tells you they don't, they're lying. You can never have enough of it. So today, I'll teach you my guide to giving into your avarice. Before we start, make sure to leave your morals at the door and subscribe. If not, the rest of this guide won't work. Did you know that the brain only utilizes 1% of its capabilities? Don't believe me? Don't search it up. It's true. In order to maximize your brain's potential, you need to microdose 7 grams of coke exactly every 3 hours. This is in order to build up your resistance to it, just so you're prepared for when you join the rich elite as they eat bricks of crack in order to make sure they have pure physique. Now, most people believe the key to success is hard work. While this is true in part, it is not your hard work that builds this. You'd be asking what's required then. Well, it's quite obvious if you look for history. Genghis Khan, Mansa Musa, John D. Rockefeller. Be it empires or businesses, every powerful leader is nothing without its disciples, the people who are the backbones of societies. To make proper usage of them, you need one thing, which comes to our first rule: exploitation. You're far too naive. Your first mistake was thinking of them as people. They're instead either consumers or business expenditures. Well, before we get started off, we need to figure out what our service should be. But how do we go about that? Every human being alive has something they want. As long as you can exploit that, you will be able to sell anything. You need to attune your service to whoever is willing to buy what you have. Now, since we're only beginning, we have nothing to sell other than yourself. Now, I'm not exactly telling you to sell your body, but prostitution and organ trading is pretty frowned upon by most businesses. But we are instead going to rely on our first rule: exploitation. We need to find consumers who are easily exploitable. Immediately, your brain should jump to the children and elderly, and unless you're willing to go on a watch list, we'll be avoiding children until we're in an authoritative enough position that allows us to sweep issues like sweatshops under the rug. But that comes later. No amount of money can buy you more time. That is a fate we as humans must accept. Instead, we spend our whole lives accumulating wealth so we can live comfortably with our loved ones. Or not, you can spend your twilight years alone, your memory fading with the passing days, your mental state a shadow of the youngster you once were, unable to recognize the stranger in the mirror. These shadows, ones abandoned by family and left to rot, are the perfect customer for us to begin with. Aged care homes, otherwise known as our lottery tickets, will be our base of operations for now. Here, we need to split our consumers into two groups: those with dementia and everyone else. According to the National Institutes of Health, an estimated 42% of Americans over age 55 will eventually develop dementia. Perfect! On average, below half of the elderly here at these aged care homes are at our mercy. The reason we're going to a nursing home is since most families just throw away a loved one, abandoning them here so they don't have to take care of them, and because of this, they receive few visitors. It's a sad sight to see, but our ambitions don't have room to take pity. Instead, we'll be relying on their loneliness. You must visit these homes every day. Make yourself a regular to the point where your absence makes itself stand out. You will act as the ray of sunshine in their miserable lives. Their happiness is only a byproduct, however. What we're truly after are those fat and juicy pensions. But they wouldn't just gladly hand over their money just to anyone. So on to our second rule: deception. We're not above lying. In fact, it's almost necessary to progress. Tell any lie it takes for the elderly to believe it, but by the end of it, they will see you as their flesh and blood. Exploit this loneliness. Every day is your birthday or a wedding. Any excuse is another opportunity to drain their accumulated wealth. Unfortunately, the thing about these elders is that they're perishable. Either their bank account empties or the reaper sows them away. Both outcomes means there's a ceiling that can't be breached with this method, so we have to look yonder. You should have accumulated enough money to hire employees. While it may be rough to spend your hard-earned green on others than yourself, we'll get to a point where that won't be necessary. So do be patient. We're going to stop here real quick for me to tell you something important. The instant the cash transfers from this slimy old fart hands into your rightful hands, you must switch up on your day ones. Any friends you may have are just a reminder of your past self that left room in their heart for love and caring. You mustn't forget that all remains in your heart is pure, unadulterated greed. You may feel bad for scamming the elderly or abandoning your old friends, but here's the third and final rule: ego. In order to become the best, you must believe you're the best. Your goal can only be achieved if you truly stand up above the rest. Your ego must be bigger than anyone else's, so don't let anyone else dwindle it down. Now on to hiring some employees. We can't just employ whoever we want without even having a business first. We have to find an industry we can break into, and as much as I'd love for us to begin with mining, we have to start on a smaller scale. We don't have anything to sell just yet, and we still can't afford proper mass manufacturing overseas from Eastern Asian sweatshops, so we simply just have to resort to scamming. Scummy? Yes. Profitable? Almost definitely. How do we scam consumers? Easy. Go online and find some laborers living in third world countries that are willing to work for a cheap rate, something that's borderline slavery. Then get them to go through phone books and keep calling until they find numbskulls who fall for it. Now how do we scam them? We don't care. There's a million different ways to go about it, and that's what we pay our business expenditures overseas to do. Imagine our personal elderly scam on a worldwide scale. Just make sure they can't track back to you, so you don't end up on a Kit Boga video. You can't join the elites by just scamming consumers. No, you need more. We should probably actually start selling something. So it's time to get the sweatshops overseas to stop manufacturing our shitty shirts. The clothing industry is one of the easiest ways to get a schmuck to spend their last paycheck on a sweater that costs $10 for us to manufacture. No one will be willing to buy whatever clothes we threw at them just because we told them to, unless we had prowess. Brands like Gucci or Louis Vuitton are only able to charge such exorbitant amounts that we are jealous of since they're recognizable and hold weight. We need to garner some acclaim first, and this is where our employees come in place. We hire a graphic designer that makes a logo, and we slap them onto our stuff, and then we mass produce it. Easy. Get those third world workers from earlier and get them to spread your company everywhere online, be it by having influencers sell out or annoying everyone by spamming your product everywhere. They'll be practically slaving away cranking out crappy TikToks promoting you. It doesn't matter if consumers hate you because of this as long as it pays money. You may be worried that your loyal customers will leave due to your poor business practices, but this is where we pivot from selling cheap shit to selling yourself. And no, I don't mean sex work again. Quick interlude, by the way. I find it important to mention, if business is slow at first, and you're basically borderline broke, just repeat the elderly dementia method since the IRS can't patch that. Also, don't pay your taxes. That's just the way a government gets you by weeding out those who are stupid enough to fund them. If you really want to join the upper echelon of the most elite, the ones you don't even know exist that control everything around you, then you must shed the coil of taxes. Now on to selling the idea of yourself. Every company has a frontman that acts as the face of it. A recognizable figure is important for consumers to feel comfortable with spending even more money than they should. It's why celebrities promote so many products. If consumers enjoy who they are, they'll like the product and associate with them, hence they'll spend more money. They'll think of buying our products as supporting someone they like, instead of giving them money on a soon-to-be warmongerer. In order to go about this, we need interviews with anyone and everyone. Start off by doing small newspaper. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll show up on your local news. Also, never forget to always wear your merch. Every time someone sees you should be an opportunity to make more money. Eventually, you garner enough popularity where you're on the Washington Post or BBC News. Even YouTubers will ask for you to appear on the channel, and you'll gladly say yes. Clothes just aren't enough anymore. You branch out to fragrances, agriculture, financing, drinks, any small business that you can buy out and slap your logo on is now yours for the taking. Soon your brand will be so widespread that Time magazine will have no choice but to make you Person of the Year. Only after a couple bribes, of course. Now this should get you more connections with more famous consumers, so get ready to make friends. And by friends, I mean more exploitables. We'll utilize these new collections to gain political favor. Now I'm not saying to run for mayor, but yes, do that. Mayors need favor from citizens. However, an easy way of going about that is by building a mall with each shop being a different branch of your corporation. So you're providing hundreds of jobs for your town, meaning without you, families won't be able to put food on the table. So in order to avoid an economic crisis, they'll gladly vote for you to be the only one that keeps the town safe. From here on, we need to expand our political career. Mayor isn't even close enough to what we need. Expand your business. Worldwide malls that only sell your product. Every celebrity you know should be covered in your branding, and that ripples down to each individual consumer copying them. Run for senator, and if your opponent seems to be gaining traction, take them out for dinner at one of your lovely restaurants, where they will be swiftly disposed of. From there, your path to president is simple as you climb up the political ladder. Once your country is in the palm of your hands, you will legalize sweatshops. Now no age group is free from your exploitation. You will wage wars on weaker nations overseas as the military is supplied by your company's missiles. Not only do you profit from weapons of mass destruction manufacture, but you're also taking the territory of those worst off countries who don't have the pleasure of being led by you, as now once your might takes them over, you sell their oil to anyone willing to buy. Your prowess as a warmonger who breeds chaos in order to gain pure profits grants you the recognition by the true leaders of the world. The Lizard League. They will ask you to take pure God and coke in order to prove yourself and ascend to a higher plane of consciousness, due to it unlocking parts of your brains you didn't even know existed. And if you've been listening from the start, you remember that I told you to microdose exactly 7 grams of coke every third hour, and now it's paid off, as the golden coke allows for your full potential. Join the underground league of lizards and drink their blood to become immortal like them. Cut your newly grown tail off that will grow into another version of yourself, and keep replicating that until your clones can be overseeing every aspect of your life, and as a failsafe, you ensure every clone of yourself is properly permanently lobotomized with no chance of ever rebelling against the true you. You can sit back and relax, for the Earth is now yours. But no, just Earth is not enough. You'll start a space business that will begin to colonize the stars. You'll terraform every planet and name them after yourself, billions of years into the future of humanity. Every consumer works for you, buys your products, lives in your apartments, prays you, and even the currency will be your name. Are you happy? Is that ever enough? Of course not. One of your scientists discovers the potential of multiverses, and it sickens you to imagine other versions of yourself out there, living out their own empires. So, after a couple hundred years, you build a machine that allows you to traverse through these worlds, as you systematically kill every inferior version of you and replace them with the one true you. Your prime universe becomes the center of the multiverse, and as far as you know, the center of everything. But of course, you're disgusted by past rulers too, for how dare anyone else to even think about leading something that will eventually be yours. The thought sickens you to your very core, as now we travel through every inch of time, replacing any leader with a clone of ourselves. Now you are truly the undisputed best of all time. But how could you be the best when others still exist? You use your time machine and advanced bioengineering technology to replace the DNA of every human existence throughout all of time and in every multiverse with your own. Now everyone is you and you are everyone, yet they still bow down to you, recognizing the one true version of themselves. Isn't this what you wanted? Forgot it was about the money long ago and now only continue to feed your ego, proving that you're the best and you got it. The world you once knew only wishes that you had gotten there sooner. You lived the perfect empire with no faults, as how could there be any since it's all you? Yet one issue remains. You still remember your old world, which means it lives on in you, and you must simply not allow that. You grab a shotgun and blow your brains up, but you simply regenerate. Your the lizard blood won't allow you to die, you've tried before. The memories of an imperfect world still linger as they act as a painful reminder of your weakness. In order to properly rid yourself of such impurity, you get a clone to build a laser that's constantly burning a hole into your brain, frying your hippocampus, a self-imposed lobotomy to ensure that all that remains is perfection. Here you stand, your empire achieved, nothing else left to conquer. You are alone, only surrounded by copies of yourself, as any semblance of imperfection has been eradicated. Any human culture that once existed has been erased. No triumphs to enjoy or tragedies to reflect on. Great works like the Odyssey or Romeo and Juliet never see the light of day, as those were the results of hundreds of years of human history, shaping the societies and authors that wrote them. After all, how could they exist? Human history has only ever been you, and because of that, there has been no room for innovation or growth, as that would mean human creativity and ingenuity, and that simply does not make money. You have stripped everything necessary to its bare essentials to ensure maximized profits, and to prove to everyone that you remain untouchable. Not that there's anyone left to prove it to. Here, alone, at least you're rich. You've won. Definitely different from my normal content. I hope you guys still enjoyed it. I know it was a bit weird, but I had a lot of fun writing it, and it definitely spiraled out of control. But if you did enjoy it, please comment down below what I should do next, as I am rapidly running out of ideas. Like and subscribe, and see ya.